everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sterling Live, our first episode of 2021. So I'd like to take a moment on behalf of Sterling and Amanda and myself right now to say Happy New Year to everyone that is following along with us live right now, maybe catching the on-demand version later. But Happy New Year and thank you for joining us. We go live every Tuesday across LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we hope you continue to join us week after week. So I'm really excited today because it is our first episode of the new year. And let me tell you, it is going to be a great episode because today with me, I have Amanda Schaefer. She is our head of client success for our industrials, government, and education vertical. And today our topic is making our clients successful, the Sterling difference. So really diving into our clients, client success, and I'm really excited about this. So Amanda, thank you so much for joining me today on Sterling Live. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience? You're muted.
I'm muted.
It's okay. Hey,
that's technical difficulty. First technical difficulty. So
it wouldn't be a virtual meeting interview if someone wasn't on mute.
Right?
So
yes, but shows everybody that it's live. But yes. So definitely excited to be part of the Sterling Live series, and especially kicking off 2021. You know, I'm super passionate about the topic at hand today, which we'll get into. But just a little about me. I'm approaching my 15th year here at Sterling in 2021, which is super exciting for me. I've held a variety of positions stemming from your entry-level customer service, vendor management, implementation, and then in my current capacity, head of client success for our industrials, government, and education division. So, you know, with that, I lead a growing team that I'm very proud of. I always say I'm a proud mama bear with my team. They treat me very well. But it's about 60 or so folks between the U.S. and global of client success partners and client success associates that directly manage and support our client programs.
That's great. In 15 years, I told you guys she was a good guest and she's going to have a lot of knowledge for us, especially in the client success area. So why don't we go ahead and get into it? Again, we have a great episode for everyone today. So let's start with an overview, you know, talking about our clients, our client success, and truly what is the Sterling difference. So my first question for you, Amanda, is what is the biggest differentiator when it comes to us supporting our clients?
You know, I really believe it boils down to our people. Our people are the most valuable asset that we have. And as I mentioned, I'm very proud of the team that I have. The loyalty and dedication is deep within the Industrials Government Education Division, with the average tenure of the team being right around 7 years, if not more at this point. And from a leadership perspective, we're at decades plus, right? So the bench is definitely deep. You know, in our industry, you need to know our business, but also make an active effort to actually understand our clients' business and unique needs that they have. You know, everybody's different. And we need to be able to understand that. And what I'm proud of with the team that I support is they consider themselves an extension of their client's brand team and the mission, quite honestly, right? Like they don't look at themselves as, you know, Sterling versus the client. It's how can we team up together on a particular issue, challenge, opportunity, improvement, whatever the case is. And if we win, they win, right? Like that's kind of just a team mentality that we bring to the table. And we often find that our mission, you know, coincides and it intertwines, making this both easy and natural for the team. You know, in our simplest form, we believe that everyone has the right to be safe. And I don't think there's one organization out there that doesn't share that in some way, shape, or form. And so when we keep that at the forefront, our teams show just a deep commitment to our clients to make sure the program is running as it should, finding ways to make it better. And they just genuinely care. Like if you ask me, why do people stay so long? They love the clients that they work with. Like the relationships can get emotional at times where you know about each other's kids, you know what's going on, you know the ups, the downs. And it's a team effort from start to finish. And that's what I'm most proud of with my team.
And I think that's great. And I'm putting myself in like a consumer's shoes. It's not just making a sale and moving on. You truly want to develop a relationship, a partnership. And it seems that, Sterling is doing that, especially your team with very, long tenures here at Sterling kind of have really, cracked the code of what is doing well. So it is great to hear that. It's very reassuring. And I do love that about our company as well. So very happy that you were able to share that. So specifically, though, around our IGE, so industrials, government and education, client support, what are some of the specifics around that? And for an example, to give to you and our audience right now, so across a couple of the teams, team members, things like that, we do have PBSA certifications. And then also specifically for you, I know that you have the advanced PBSA certification. So can you just explain a little bit about that? And yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So as I mentioned, understanding our business and just the industry is beyond critical. We can be the biggest asset and biggest liability if we don't know what it is we're talking about, right?
Right.
And this is where I really feel that we transcend what you would consider normal account management and really are trusted advisors for our clients in a sense with the employment landscape, which is always changing, whether it's EEOC, FCRA, litigation that's out there with literally almost every law coming out being more pro-consumer. Right? It's how you use the data. It's how you access the data, what you can do with the data once you get it. And so with that in mind, it's been a priority that our client success partners are PBSA certified. And so the PBSA is the Professional Background Screening Association, and our industry's trade association that is front and center of the changes impacting both consumer reporting agencies like Sterling, as well as our clients with how, when, and what information can be both reported and how it's used. And so by having our CSP certified, this assures our clients that we understand our obligations as a CRA. Again, not just Sterling, right? It's what CRAs need to do to take care of their customers and take care of their own business, but also what factors the clients should be looking at, what responsibilities that they have. And it allows us to influence program changes, policy, and the like. So in 2020, I personally took the basic certification a step further and pursued the advanced certificate, which reinstills all those points. But also dives into a lot of the gray area surrounding the litigation where, being technically right, I would say, if I can sum it up in a nutshell, being technically right isn't enough.
Yeah.
Right. Like we really need to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to represent consumers and those organizations in the right way. And organizations need to do the same.
It's that level of expertise that really stands out to me, with this conversation right here, proving that, we are experts in the area, but that level of expertise also brings a lot of comfort, I feel, to our clients and really brings that level of trust too. So that's very interesting. And I'm happy, we're able to expand on that. So we do have a comment. I love this comment from Facebook. Amanda is someone who will inspire us to be what we know we could be. So great job, Amanda. I'm very happy to hear that coming across our Facebook page. So people who are watching live right now across our platforms, if you do have any questions or a great comment like that for Amanda, please go ahead in the comment box and you can submit your questions that way. So I'll take them throughout the show. I'll give them over to Amanda. So moving on in our conversation. So talking about building these long relationships, decade-long relationships, I want to look at, how we're engaging with clients. So the different types of styles there. So what engagement styles work best when building these long-lasting relationships?
Two words that come to mind are accessibility and trust. And it might sound really basic, but it's actually at the foundation, I think, of any good relationship we have. Looking back in this last year, in prep for this, actually, I was looking and I'm like, I don't think I attended one prospect meeting with our sales team where client success was not on the agenda.
Right.
In fact, it was not only on the agenda, it was given prominent time, right? You could tell it was a critical factor, in my opinion, priority one. And so much so they wanted to actually meet the person that they'd be working with, right? So it wasn't enough to show what your retention stats were. Here's the business reviews that we do. But it was about that connection that they wanted to feel with that person, because at the end, you need to be able to trust who it is that you're working with. Technology is probably number two, if I had to be honest, in terms of, again, what's important to these organizations out there. But what happens when technology only takes you so far? When they have a question, when, the client's got a big executive meeting right around the corner and they're freaking out themselves and they're like, oh my goodness, I have to present on this topic. They want to know that you're a phone call, a click,
right,
even a text message away. And I'm happy to say there is no 1-800 Sterling, right? Like all of our folks are directly accessible. And the relationships that we've built, our clients know that they can pick up the phone and we're going to be there. And again, I use the term team. It's a team effort from start to finish. It's never an us versus them. And that's just the mentality that we bring. So, we're accessible. We work with our clients to schedule those big meetings. In fact, I just had a business review last week to where we decided to build the business reviews around their own internal meetings that they have on the client side. So that it's, if they meet with us, say early January and their big executive meeting is mid-month, well, we're serving up that content. Right. So it's in line with their KPIs that they already care about. It actually saves our stakeholders time, right? So it's, we work to deliver that kind of experience, make sure our clients know we're here.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think that's a great example. And I am, curious if there are any other examples that you can share. So just like of current engagement styles that we do have with clients, especially given that, this vertical is rather large with, industrials, government, and education. So very much interested in hearing some more examples that you may have.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one size fits all, and that's the other secret sauce to our approach. We really take the time to understand the client, what works for them, what makes them tick, if you will, right? Like what are their key performance indicators? And so one that comes to mind is we recently actually deployed a county government entity in late 2020. And I will tell you, anytime you go through a bid process, especially in the private sector, it can be challenging to actually put your consultative hat on, right? It's very, tight-lipped, locked and key, apples to apples. And you really don't get the opportunity to kind of dive in and say, okay, you've been doing it this way for forever. Does it make sense? Sometimes you get the history as to why people have been doing things. Sometimes you don't, right? So it's hard to combat. And again, I think especially in the public sector. But with this particular county, they were open to those suggestions. We're actively going through the program of which we've identified not only cost savings opportunities for them, but ways to actually self-fund through those cost savings opportunities, other ways we can make the program better. So it's a win for them. They can take back to their stakeholders and say, look what we did. Not only did we save money here, but we've actually built a better program, right? That's going to find us more information, safeguard our brand, our county government in this case, more soundly than what we had. And they're still netting in the cost savings area, right? And so taking that kind of a win to them, I think is huge. And again, they were open to the idea that we challenged them a little bit. Why have you, had a certain scope? Why do you do the verifications that you do? Does this still make sense? Yeah. And you'll notice I use the word challenge, and that's what you can expect. We expect in any relationship that we are challenged day in and day out from our clients, with an eye towards continuous improvement. And I feel that we do the exact same with our clients. And something that you'll hear one of our team members say pretty religiously on these calls is, if your program today looks the same as it does in 5 years, we're not doing our job. Right. I love that. This landscape changes way too much. And we need to all hold ourselves accountable to make sure we're always moving the needle forward.
Yeah. And I do appreciate you bringing up, that example. It's something that, I work in marketing. So a lot of times when we are developing client testimonials, when, we're getting quotes from clients, things like that, one of the things that always stands out to me is that constant reevaluation process. Like, what are you doing now? What can we do now? And I love that quote that you just said of, if your program looks the same in 5 years, like we're not doing our job. So I love that, the constant challenging, looking at everything. So totally great. And I love, to see it across the entire organization, and happy that you were able to share that with our audience today. So another form of engagement. So Sterling develops a lot of thought leadership. For example, we are on Sterling Live right now talking about things. So one of the forms of thought leadership that we develop, but also too, blogs, articles, just different things. Specifically, recently we did have a blog around, the Department of Transportation and MSCA, and also articles too on COVID-19 testing, industry trends, things like that. So how is the thought leadership that we are creating in-house helping our clients, and how is your team using it to help our clients?
Right. No, excellent question. And you said it, and I've said it before. Admittedly, we are a very large division, right?
Mm-hmm.
From manufacturing, transportation, energy, oil and gas, to education and government. We want to make sure our clients understand how we can support their own regulations and requirements, just above and beyond what it takes to actually do a basic background check, which we know is extremely regulated as well. And then we also want to know, with things new, perhaps unexpected, like the COVID-19 pandemic. Right. How can we show up and help as everybody's scrambling in this unprecedented time to try to figure out how to get everybody to work safely, right? So these are all things that are top of mind and what helps build credibility to the relationships we've built with our customers. So, two examples, and you mentioned where, in January 2020, the FMCSA actually launched the clearinghouse requirement.
It seems that we are having a little bit of technical difficulties. So hopefully Amanda can join us back real quick. We are discussing right now, making our clients successful, the sterling difference, especially within our IGE vertical. Amanda was just taking the time to talk about our thought leadership specifically. We do have a lot of content coming your way that's been, published already. We do shows like this, like Sterling Live. And yeah, so we are having some technical difficulties. So hopefully Amanda can pop back in here real quick. Please stand by as she will be joining momentarily. Again, thank you all for joining us today. Amanda is having some technical difficulties, so we are waiting for her to come back in. She's currently in the process of talking about our thought leadership and what we do provide to our clients. So it's not just talking on a day-to-day basis, it's really providing them with content, thought leadership, and more value. So we are waiting for Amanda to pop back in here. So she will be back shortly. So thank you for your patience, and we will kick things off again as soon as she joins. And just so you are aware, when Amanda does come back on, we're also going to talk about the role of technology. What does the role of technology play when making our clients successful? We're going to gather some final thoughts from Amanda as well. And then also, if you have any questions at any time, please comment across Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and I will be happy to send those questions, comments off to Amanda. We will continue the conversation. So again, for those of us that are watching right now, maybe you just joined, we are having some technical difficulties. So please stay on the live stream as Amanda will come back shortly. Thank you. As we wait for Amanda to come back, I am very excited to let everyone know that we have a lot of great Sterling Live episodes coming your way in 2021. We do this every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern across Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So I'm very excited to let you know that, amazing episodes coming your way. We hope you can tune in each week. These videos do live on demand after we are done within our feeds. So you can always watch them at any time across our platforms. So again, if you're just joining or are you still watching across our platforms, we are having some technical difficulties. So we are awaiting Amanda to come back, and she will be here shortly. She's back.
I'm back.
There she is. It is okay. I kept our audience way entertained while you had some technical difficulties, so no worries. So we were on the topic of, thought leadership. And I believe you were just touching on the recent blog that we did around the Department of Transportation and FMSCA. So do you want to continue the conversation there?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yes.
Beautiful. So yeah, so apologies all. Again, it would not be a meeting, especially these days, without some sort of difficulty.
Absolutely.
No, but what I was saying though is, again, we're a very large division overall, right? So it's extremely important that we cover a variety of topics just to keep our clients well informed of things that are coming up that are industry specific, or even just things in our own, just the natural part of doing a background check that changes. So 2 examples, in January 2020, the FMCSA launched the clearinghouse requirement and increased the random pool percentages that were being required. And so the key thing here is we were front and center of this, communicating to our clients well ahead of the deadlines and schedules that were set forth to make sure our clients knew what we could support, how we could support it, to make sure that they knew we were keeping their program compliant with the random pool percentages where we were supporting. And then wrapping up the year, we also partner with clients on the annual query that's required. And, with these requirements, especially the clearinghouse being so new for everybody, we partnered with our product organization to make sure that we recapped everything, right? All of the things that you need to know just to make sure you're kind of squared away for 2020 and entering in 2021 as compliantly as possible. And then through the pandemic, followed by the shutdowns impacting, several businesses. But our essential manufacturers, especially, were still up and running, which, public service announcement, thank you for all of the toilet paper, much appreciated. But, they had to find ways to keep employees working and working safely, right? Throughout all of this, how to keep stores stocked, how to take care of the world, quite honestly. Not to mention when businesses return back to work, whether you were in manufacturing or a different industry, how can it be done safely, right? How should we test? Can we test? How can we keep track of the results? How can we make sure it's a positive now employee experience, right? Because these aren't pre-employment tests. They are just keeping your current workforce safe, right? So how do we do all of that in a compliant, streamlined, and systemic way? And so, I feel that this is definitely, again, a proud moment to work at Sterling, where I feel our product organization, compliance teams, and so forth rallied to make sure that we delivered solutions to our clients, which are evolving as we speak, right? Just because COVID-19 continues to evolve. And, we were able to launch a variety of testing options and tracking capabilities within the system. So, it's only 2 examples, fairly recent, but good ones, I feel, just to show how we're thinking about solutioning for our clients. And to make sure our clients know that it's not, we're not a reactive organization. Our goal is to make sure that we're pushing this information to you so you have it.
Yeah, no, it's great. And, some of my favorite stories do come from, when it was the height of the pandemic and how Sterling was helping our clients. So it seems as if Amanda has dropped again. So we will wait for her a little bit. But just to recap what she was talking about, it's, Sterling delivers this, thought leadership content and, for especially manufacturing clients, that were still up and running, during the height of COVID, it was kind of how we can test safely, how we can keep our employees there and everything like that. So Amanda, I was just recapping what your response to the last question. And like I just said before, some of my favorite stories were coming from the height of the pandemic and how we were helping. So I'm very happy that you did share that with our audience today. So let's move into our final topic. So our final theme for this entire topic. So I do want to talk about the role of technology and how this all plays in here. So how does technology fit into overall success of a client?
With that, I would say, the expectations from clients are easy and fair, in my opinion, right? There needs to be a mobile-first solution that's nimble, intuitive, and quick, especially when it comes to a candidate. You spend how much time trying to find that talent, find that candidate. The background check is often the last piece, right, before you start kind of that day one. And so, with that, Sterling delivers that. There's no question. But I feel where we take that step further is looking through the ways that we can partner with our clients to streamline the end-to-end workflow for our clients. So, if you think about it, again, we're one part of the whole experience, albeit critical and the last part. And so, another just, shout out to our awesome CSP team is that they really work to understand the full life cycle of the candidate to employee journey to determine where both technology and then also process can be maximized to reduce touch points to get you to your day one of your employee starting. You know, it is about having the right technology, but also the right partner to help an organization maximize every step of the way, bringing ideas and solutions to the program.
Yeah, so to stem off of that a little bit, so, you know, is technology always involved, and what happens when it really isn't like a part of, you know, supporting the client?
Right. I mean, technology should be used whenever possible for all of the obvious reasons, right? Speed, cost, efficiency, consistency. But an organization should not be handcuffed to these solutions only. Sometimes you need to think outside the box and keep the total end-to-end experience in mind. And so the approach my team takes looks at technology.
So unfortunately, it seems that we have lost Amanda. We're having some technical difficulties right now. So currently we are talking about technical difficulties. We are talking about technology and, you know, how we use it to help support our clients. And, you know, sometimes it's not always there. So
Yeah, so yeah, I was just saying, and apologies again, third time's the charm here, but you know, when we can't solve an issue or automation is not the best route, you know, the focus then becomes scale and quality. You know, what repeatable and quality process can we partner with our clients on that gets us to the finish line? So technology is always the core of that, right? But what we expect from Sterling is the fact that we're not handcuffed to that. We're going to get you to the end goal. We're going to, you know, be creative in how we do it.
Yeah, no, that's great. A couple comments coming in too. So for LinkedIn, you know, talking about how goal-oriented you are and your team is. So I love to hear that feedback. Clearly, it is helping our clients, you know, on their way to success. So good to see that comment coming through. Again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to go ahead and put them in the comment boxes across Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. But as we wrap up here, Amanda, what are your final thoughts from today's episode?
I just really want to say, you know, thank you for the time today and the flexibility. With all the technical issues, like I said, you know, you plan for everything and then internet goes nuts. But, you know, hopefully you and the viewers can just feel the passion I have for taking care of our customers. Just really how proud I am of the team that I lead. I wouldn't be where I am without them. Each and every one of them, including the leaders that help me support the entire team, like they're critical to the success and both of us internally and our clients. You know, I pride myself on the relationships I've built in my 15 years and the love I have for the industry. It's ever changing, it's complex, but when I know I have the trust of my clients and I know I can, you know, have that client be a reference, right, to speak to the support that we give, it means all the difference to me and really supports why I continue to do what I do and how I lead my team. So I just thank everybody for their flexibility today and just really was excited to join today.
I think those are great final thoughts. And I think our audience can see the passion that came through on this conversation, you know, with supporting our clients. And yeah, it truly was an outstanding conversation. I always love learning about so many different parts of our business. This one area in particular, though, I'm always interested in learning so much more and always brings a smile to my face with how we are helping our clients and how we are always there. So I truly appreciate everything that you were able to share. As I said earlier in the show, we do go live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern across Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We have great episodes coming your way in 2021, so I hope you can continue to tune in for us. Thank you to our audience. Thank you to Amanda, and we will catch you next week. So, pop in here. I was just saying thank you, Amanda, and thank you to our audience. So we will see you guys next week, and thank you again.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.